Guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the only cure to relationship addiction. Watch this video. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the little subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. In my opinion anyway, by doing this work for lots of years now and being in this situation myself, I know that in my opinion, there is only one way to heal relationship addiction. Now, I know you're probably thinking I'm going to say no contact. That's actually not what I'm going to say. That's part of it, but that's not the bigger part. No contact is one way to get yourself unhooked, but it doesn't get you emotionally unhooked completely. The other thing I want to just say briefly is a lot of people say, like with heartbreak and things like this, time will heal it. And that is not true. It's a myth. Time does not heal traumatic bonds. Time is great to heal the heart and to heal memories, but it doesn't heal these toxic bonds or trauma bonds or relationship addiction. What does is trauma healing. So for me, what has healed me time and time again from anything and everything in my life is inner child work. But more than that, or let's say no, the same as that is consciousness. When I give myself to this work, this spiritual work, it's the front runner of my life. And there's a very specific reason, because definitely it's a calling and I feel so passionate about it. And I feel so connected to it and I feel so called to do it as it is a calling, but also because it makes me totally independent from any other thing that could take my attachment, that could take a part of my power, right? We oftentimes give our power away to the wrong places, and when we give it back to spirit, and we give it back to purpose, and we give it back to consciousness and our conscious practices, we are winning. We are in our power. We're anchoring into ourself, our true self, because the truth of who we are is souls having human experiences, right? So what I've learned is it's very counterintuitive at the beginning. But if you're somebody who finds yourself in a trauma bond or a codependency or a narcissistic relationship or just a relationship that's toxic, where it's push-pull, you don't know where they stand, you're on eggshells, there's uncertainty in your love because it's not really true love, right? If you're someone that finds themselves in this position, it's because there are voids inside of your own heart that need to be healed. In my monthly membership last week, it's mind-blowing. Our tribe right now is mind-blowing. If you guys want to find your community, please check out the Truth Room. It is my favorite thing to look forward to now every single Friday, to be with my tribe. But our talk last week was so intense and incredible and healing, and our 1 hour went into 2 hours, and we've been doing that the last few weeks because after the first hour, we get really tapped in and miracles start happening and group healings occur. So this week, the theme that popped up for me was what happens in many people's hearts who suffer from codependency, which I think is an unhealed empath or a highly sensitive person who was invalidated. We fall into codependent patterns. And what the message usually is at the baseline is, I don't trust my heart because I've loved people who've hurt me. And as I melted that for the group this week, I came into this really beautiful insight that when we're in a codependent relationship with, say, a narcissist, it's the same wound expressed opposite, right? It's a void of self and power. It's an avoidance of self. Narcissists and codependents are kind of in addiction, right? Narcissistic people are addicted to attention and they're addicted to the supply that fills the voids so they don't have to be with their negative emotion, which is a loss of self. And codependent people were taught that you're selfish to think about self, so they give up themselves for others. So they're looking for others to fill themselves, right? So what we need to do to heal these emotional, let's say, addictions or dependencies is to fill it with our own consciousness, with our own self, with our own higher power, with our own higher calling. I feel so lucky to be able to do this work in the world because it fills me so deeply. And when I get away from my work for even like a week, I'm like, oh gosh, I am missing it. I'm in love with it. It is my number one passion. And Our number one passion has to be our spiritual practice. It has to be our path if we're going to heal this. Because as we fill ourselves with our own consciousness by raising our own vibration, by, I know this might annoy some of you, massive amounts of self-care. I had a client tell me last week, she said, Candace, I do the self-care all the time, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I'm ridiculous. It doesn't work. I said, okay, I hear that you've done the actions of self-care, but now you're bashing yourself and you're judging yourself and you're destroying yourself. That isn't self-care. So you're missing the boat on the most important piece, which is the hardest for all of us, which is turning down the volume on that inner critic. The inner critic wants to always find what's wrong with us, so we run back to the addiction. See, I need that, right? I had to call myself out on this years and years and years ago when I was like, hold on a minute. I'm doing all the things, but then why am I being mean to myself in the process? Because that's the last piece of the puzzle. Oh, I have to self-partner and be my own best friend. Listen, that emotional pull, that emotional addiction is extremely intense. And I've been doing a lot of videos on this lately and a lot of blogs about this lately because it feels like air, like you need it to breathe. You need that contact to be like, right? It feels that crazy sometimes. But I'm going to let you know that the more distance, this is why no contact is also important, the more distance you get away from that drug of choice person, the more you start to kind of forget because it's about the hit. It's not about the love or the connection. It's about that hit. And what you can start to do is fill it with you. I do a ton of inner child work when I go through any kind of trigger, right? We always need inner child work. So our inner child is a major part of our lives. And if we don't integrate with her or him, we're feeling separate, which makes us feel that void. So we always have to bring her or him closer, which means no criticism. Love, more love, not less. And when we do the inner child work, meaning you go inside yourself and you ask them to come forward. You beg them to be part of your moment. Sometimes they don't want to come to you because they've been ignored for so long and they're afraid to show up because they think there's something wrong with them. It's their fault that you feel bad, all these things. But if you are constant, consistent with your connection to you and you show up every day and ask for them to come forward, eventually they do because all they really want is acknowledgement and all they really want is you. So what we get to do is kind of self-parent or reparent our traumas. Say, I'm with you. I want you to come with me. I'm interested in you. There's really nothing you ever did wrong. And it has to come from a place of really getting it. And until it does, it's not going to feel right. But do it anyway until it starts feeling good. And then you can ask your inner child, you know what, I just want to be you. I just want to do what you want to do. I just want your preferences. Many people have issues with this stage of it because we were taught as kids that our preferences were wrong or not okay or not good enough or no. And, you know, I'll share with you guys these personal things I think is kind of huge. One time when I was doing an inner child exercise, I was watching my inner child. She was 2. And then she came to me at 5. So the 2-year-old and the 5-year-old were really trying to get my attention. And they showed me like visions of my 11-year-old self too. So there was like, you know, some stuff going on in there. And I looked at the 2-year-old and she was like blank, like wearing all white, not much color, not much expression, just looked like this little cute angel girl. But she was afraid to do anything because she didn't want to do anything wrong. And she wanted like permission to know what she should do because she was so afraid that whatever she did, it wasn't going to be right. And I thought that was really interesting. And then by 5, my 5-year-old came to me and she was all decked out in this really cute matchy outfit, which I still like to do, and colorful. And I was asking her what's new. And she was, I found a lot of my hobbies. I'm very self-expressed. I'm going to show you. And it was really interesting, the difference. And I saw both of them living inside of me, and it was so beautiful. And so I took the 5-year-old and I put her on the 2-year-old. And I told the 2-year-old, everything that you desire is totally okay. There is no wrong. Just do whatever you feel. And she started to smile, and all these colors came out. She was wearing pink and purple. And it was interesting. And I thought, wow, she needed my permission to know that whatever she wants, whatever she prefers, will never be wrong with me. Maybe with other people it was, but it would never be wrong with me. And so I'm sharing that with you because when we give ourselves, our inner children, permission to shine, they fill us. That is the void within us. That's why many of us look for a mom or a dad figure in our significant others. It fills you. You're filling yourself with your own inner love, your own consciousness. When you're children, you're extremely innocent. You're extremely close to the divine. You haven't been super programmed yet. So that part of you is that conscious part of you that starts to ease into you. And if you keep choosing you over the addictive person or over the distractions from the self, but you keep choosing you start to become more strong in you. You start to feel more whole in you. And it's not easy. The first few days, the first few weeks, you might have like spikes of excitement because you're like, whoa, this feels way better than anything else. And then you'll drop back into, but what is he doing? What is she doing? I should go look. I'm kind of bored. Great, you're bored. Go to the store and get some paints. Great, go make an appointment with your hairdresser. Great, go hang out with your friends. Distract yourself from that addiction. And when you do that and you continue over and over to choose you and not self-criticize, but look at how beautiful you were at those ages and bring that part of you into you and heal those memories by reparenting. It's so amazing. Obviously, if you need help with this, find a coach. I'm available as well. You can find all that below. I love guiding people through this. I especially love guiding groups. So if you want to check out my Truth Room every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, check that link below as well. I hope this serves you well. I hope you'll share it with at least one more person who needs this message. Guys, we can break our emotional addictions by filling ourselves with our own consciousness and doing the inner child work. It is mandatory. We can't just wait it out. Time is not going to heal this. We need to do that inner work. It's super important, and I will put my life on this message because it's really healed me a lot. So if you have any questions or comments, please write them below. Please check all the links. Please share this with one person. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you guys have an amazing week. Namaste.